Hi, my name is Tim Crumlin, co-founder of Ligari. We specialize in highly scratch-resistant epoxy resins. We sell all over the United States, and we don't just sell countertop kits. Just ask the contractors that are joining us weekly. If you want the best, stay tuned till the end of the video to find out how you can order Ligari products. Enjoy.
Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Ligari Products video tutorial on how to apply a metallic epoxy coating over VCT tile. So as you can see, there's some red spots and you can see where we grinded it. So there was a crack going down the middle there, and then right by the door you had about 4 or 5 missing pieces of the VCT tile. So we just used our high build epoxy, pigmented epoxy, floated that, and then came in the next day and diamond grinded it smooth. The prep work on this floor after we patched areas and grinded it was taking a vacuum, vacuuming the floor and all the edges, and then we used an electric leaf blower, blew everything out of the door there, and then using a mop and a mop bucket, we poured about a gallon of acetone in the bucket and used the mop and really scrubbed the floor good. This will remove any contaminants, oil, anything that will break the bond between the VCT tile and our universal primer. So before you begin mixing the universal primer or the metallic epoxy coat, make sure you read the instructions thoroughly, and then when you're measuring out the amounts of part A and part B, remember it's 2 part A to 1 part B material, so make sure they're exact. And when you dump them together and mix them, make sure you mix them really good, scraping the sides of the buckets and the bottom, and make sure they're mixed really good before you pour it out on the floor. As you can see, we're rolling out the universal primer thin. The reason is because VCT tile doesn't really have gaps or grout lines. They're put together really tight. If you do have tile or grout lines you're going over, you're going to want to do a flood coat and get the floor flat before you do the metallic epoxy coat. This will make sure you don't get any ghosting effects from the grout lines through the metallic epoxy. After the universal primer's mixed, you're going to want to dump it out on the floor in beads like we did in the video here, and then take a 18-inch roller, put it on a pole, and start rolling it out while you have someone cutting in the edges with the paintbrush. Once the primer's dry, mix up your base coat metallic epoxy. In this floor we're going to be using silver for the base, and then the highlights are going to be charcoal. And all you're going to do is just pour it out of the bucket in beads around the room. We're going to do this floor a little different. We're not going to cover the whole floor with the base color. We're going to leave open areas, and then we're going to take the highlight colored charcoal and pour that in the areas that we didn't coat with the base color. I'm going to be using a magic trowel to spread the material out across the floor. You can use a roller. We just decided to use the magic trowel on this one because we're going to be doing a little different than usual. And then you don't really need to apply a lot of pressure. You're trying to leave a thin mill of that base color everywhere, but move all the thicker spots around. As you can see, I missed some spots. We did that on purpose. That's going to be for the highlight color. And make sure that you pour the material out of the bucket once it's mixed. You don't want to leave it in the bucket. If it's left in the bucket, it will heat up and get hard. So again, just get it out of the bucket as soon as you can. It'll give you more working time when it's out on the floor. can see in the video the spots that we didn't coat with the base color. You're going to take your highlight color you mixed and you're going to pour that out in those areas. And then you're going to take your magic trowel, doing the same technique you did with the base coat, and just start spreading that highlight color out randomly across the floor with the magic trowel. You will have thicker spots on this floor doing it with the magic trowel. That's fine. When you're done spreading out the highlight color, you will do a quick roll on it with a roller, and this will level out the thick spots and it'll create a really cool effect. What I'm doing right now in the video is pulling the highlight color to the edges. You want to make sure you get the highlight color in random areas along the edges, that way it looks more uniform. Using an 18-inch roller on a pole, we're going to roll the floor out in random directions. We're not applying any pressure, we're just letting it glide across the surface. This is going to help level out the floor and blend the colors together. You can use a smaller roller, a 9-inch roller for smaller floors, but just keep in mind when you're doing big areas, the 18-inch roller comes in handy because you can cover more square footage at a time. Here's what the floor will look like after you've done your base coat and your highlights, blended the colors together with the magic trowel, and then did your final roll with the roller on a pole. Now you can still see the roller marks in the floor. Those will disappear once the metallic pigments settle out and the epoxy starts getting hard.